Hello, loves, and welcome to your Embodied Tarot reading for the week. It is December 10th today. We are coming up on the end of the year 2020. And while I think it's important to, acknowledge the insanity of this year and the portal of crossing over into 2021, also just acknowledging that the Gregorian calendar isn't everything, and that the cycles that we're in right now, like there's not going to be this hard stop point, but I do think there's going to be a really beautiful transition. And so I am excited to drop into the cards, drop into our bodies, and see what Spirit has to offer us today. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now, give yourself 3 really juicy breaths to just begin to feel into the support of the earth or the chair beneath you. Let your body drop into that support. Feel its hold on you. Feel that sense of containment, gravity anchoring you here right now. Whatever else is happening in your world, remembering, if just for a moment, that we are held. Perhaps letting a few exhales fall out your mouth with a sigh, releasing some energy from your day, releasing into this support even more fully. We'll invite in all of our guides, our well ancestors, any benevolent energies that would like to come be a part of this collective healing process today. Just trusting that if you're listening to this right now, there is something here for you. Okay. Okay, so our first card coming up is the Four of Swords. So this is a really important reminder that amidst all of this intensity that's happening right now, we have to give ourselves breaks, specifically brain breaks. So this might look different for everyone. It might look like naps. I was just talking to one of my clients about this recently, this concept of spirit naps, uh, which is a really like you're not taking a nap just to like lay down and sleep necessarily, but taking it with the intention of like giving my brain a break and surrendering over to spirit for a little while. And maybe you'll sleep, maybe you won't. But also, our brain breaks can look different for everybody, you know? Like sometimes what we need to do to actually get our brain to stop ruminating over something is to watch some TV. Sometimes it's to go for a run if that's your thing, or maybe it's doing yoga, maybe it's meditating, but more often it's actually space away from any sort of task, anything that we might check off a to-do list. It's creating a container where we can actually just stop for a minute and let everything go for a little while, and trusting, knowing that like we're going to be able to pick it right back up again. Like this isn't a permanent state of affairs, and we can trust ourselves to lay it down for a little while, pick it back up again later. I think this is especially important right now going into the end of the year. First of all, because our year ends are usually pretty busy and pretty full, although this year certainly might look very different compared to other years. And we're coming up on this really huge portal, not just of the end of the year, but also of December 21st. Which I'm not going to get into a lot around the Great Conjunction, but I highly recommend that you engage with some astrology teachers around what this is. But basically, it's a massive shift. It is an age shift for us, and coming into the next age, we are being invited into more collaboration, more interdependence. And this can bring up a lot of emotional stuff. And so while we are giving ourselves like permission to dive into this work, we also need to give ourselves permission to hit the pause button every now and then, to honor whatever emotions are showing up, to honor the energy that this is taking to move through this time just to be alive right now. I mean, it's amazing and also incredibly intense. So yeah, taking some space to honor that is going to be super important. And also trusting yourself to know what is going to work for you to take a break, because we can so often get up in our heads about what breaks are supposed to look like and what they're not supposed to look like. Oh, Oscar came by to say hi. You want to say hi, puppy? Okay. Quick kitty break. This is Oscar. He's a good boy. Yeah, puppy. Oh. Do you hear him purring right now? Aren't you so handsome? Okay, I'm going to keep going. Sometimes it looks like cat breaks. Okay, well, let's see what other card wants to come out right now. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is actually a great card to be coming out with the Four of Swords, I think, because the Eight of Pentacles reminds us that like sometimes we just need to keep doing the things that we are doing to create a sense of mastery around it. Like repetition is the magic sometimes. And trusting that things are developing, like we are growing, we are changing, but not necessarily like we might not yet be seeing the fruits of that labor. And we kind of just need to keep chopping wood and carrying water and engaging with the tools that we have in our surroundings right now. The Eight of Pentacles can be, is often at least like specifically referencing work that we do in the world in sort of a physical and tangible way. And like really sometimes like we just need to stay committed to it, to keep doing the tasks, knowing that little by little, we are developing more skills, we are developing more mastery around this. So for a lot of us, I know right now, like we are developing skills of, different coping mechanisms that we have. We might be developing new skills to share with the world to be a part of this great transition into this next age. We might be just like putting one foot in front of the other in our work to prepare ourselves for what's coming for the next year. So these two really pair very well together because in general, what it's saying right now is actually let's stop overthinking things a little bit. Let's go one step at a time, one moment at a time, one task at a time. Let's take breaks when needed. He just wants to be around right now. He's just cute. And just keep it just keep it moving. And trusting that like when we're ready to come out of this, again, this is a space of trust, because when we're ready to come out of this phase, when we're ready to engage with something new, something more perhaps exciting, which might like feed the ego a little bit more, that we will actually have like developed the skills that we need in order to do that in a way that is in alignment with spirit, that is in alignment with what wants to be created and what wants to come through us. So a lot of trusting right now. Okay, we actually have two coming out here, both of which came out last week. So this is cool. We're going to come back to the Lovers, which is the six in the major arcana, and the Six of Pentacles, which is our card that works with the energy exchanges, the giving and the receiving, and that kind of like sense of circulating energy through. And the Lovers, which is our card that reminds us that sometimes what we're looking at on the outside is something that we need to connect with on the inside with ourselves. But also from that space, then we can engage in authentic interdependence. So this is a little bit like what I was talking about with the Great Conjunction. We're switching into an age that is more emphasis on Aquarius, and Aquarius is absolutely an energy of like feeling into that interdependence, feeling into our ability to co-create not just with spirit but with each other. But the Lovers really asked us to, as we're stepping into that, as we're doing that work and starting to feel like, what does that look like to be in richer community with each other, to own the fact that we are all human beings, and that like the best way that we can support each other is through supporting ourselves in ways that honors this sort of community space. But like as we're engaging with that work, as we're doing that, we also need to recognize that there are likely parts of ourselves that are looking for fulfillment from other people that we actually need to give to ourselves first, so that we can enter into, this is since Six of Pentacles work now, we can enter into clear exchanges of energy. We can enter into a clean sense of, I give this to you out of the overflow of my heart because I have everything that I need within me, and spirit takes care of me, and I don't actually need you to take care of me, but I've got me, spirit's got me. And so now I'm going to give to you from this space, and I'm going to receive joyfully and gratefully what you have to give back to me. This is how we create community that is fulfilling for everybody. This is a huge part of like undoing the systems of oppression, of racial injustice, of intergenerational trauma, is that we stop projecting onto other people what we are actually needing, and then we allow them to authentically give to us and us to authentically receive from them. So this is big work. The fact that it's coming up again just like sort of reinforces for me that like this is not work that we're going to do this week. This is work that we're going to be doing over the next several months of really unraveling the ways in which we might be right now in codependent relationships, not just with other people, but also with systems. You know, like this is actually a really big thing that we've learned for a lot of us, at least this year. We've started to learn that like we have been dependent in a lot of ways on a system that is broken, that is built on the pain and suffering of people that are a part of our collective, a part of our community. So getting into that and starting to unpack that, like this is going to take a very long time. This is going to take years. That's why this great conjunction is such a big deal. It's not just an energy that's going to be with us for a little while. It's an energy that's going to be with us for decades. So breathing into that a little bit, acknowledging the bigness of it, and then we come back to these first two cards that came out, the Four of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Chop wood, carry water, take brain breaks. Trust that what you are choosing to engage with right now, the work you are choosing to do, is exactly right for this moment in the context of this greater work that is happening, right? Because we don't need to get overwhelmed by it. We don't need to try to do all of this right now. Like, yes, we are all going to be challenged to step up, to show up for our communities in bigger and bigger ways, to really address the ways in which we may have done harm or maybe still doing harm, just by buying into a system that we've been kind of in a codependent relationship with. That's big. That's hard. We need to do it. And it starts with small steps. And it starts with acknowledging that right now, in this exact moment, we are completely and totally held by divine love as we are. We don't have to look anywhere else in order to feel whole. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to check anything off the to-do list in order to be worthy of coming along for this ride, of stepping into the magic and the potential that this portal has for us. And what I'm feeling into right now is that if you're listening to this, wherever you're listening to this right now, I want to encourage you, if you are doing something else while listening to it, to take a moment to pause. And I'm going to guide about 5 minutes of a embodied meditation, a little Reiki and energy healing. If you have that long to stop, to sit, to lay down, do it. If you are just watching this and you have that space wherever you are, making the choice if you would like to do this sitting or laying down. Finding your way to this pause. And if you don't have a full 5 minutes to not do anything else, give yourself at least 3 breaths to simply be with your breath. And as you be with your breath, I'm going to invite you to find a little tilting in your pelvis, a little forward and back. So whether you're sitting or laying down, pelvis is rotating, tipping forward, rotating and tipping back. So there's this expansion through the low belly as you inhale, contraction pulling in as you exhale. So here we're tapping into these root and sacral chakras, these energy centers. The root in particular associated with this energy of earth. We have 8 of Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles here with us today. So we're really inviting this grounded energy, the resources of our world, the tangible impacts and ways that we can engage with our environment in order to create more skills, more resources for collective abundance. Right here, this potential is in your body, in your root system. So as you continue this movement, if it feels good in your body, keep this movement going. And as you continue it, start to see roots descending down from your tailbone into the earth. So from the very base of your spine, this first root, and then it starts to expand and to spread. As you do that, I'm just going to open up a channel of Reiki energy between us right now so that just to amplify this work that you're doing, because you have everything that you need within you. This much we know to be true. Spirit wants to be here and to hold you. And so this Reiki energy that is coming your way right now, wherever you are in time and space, is here to simply amplify the energies that you are creating within your own body. Trusting that it's here right now and breathing into it. And maybe this movement continues for you. Maybe your breath develops a little bit. Maybe there's a sense of deepening the inhale and a loud, audible as you exhale and pull the belly button back towards the spine. It's just going to draw some of this energy up through the rest of the chakra system, lighting up all the different parts of you that connect with the world, especially the heart and the throat. And these are our expression centers, our connection centers, and they're going to become so important in the coming months. But right now, all we need to do is feel. Feel and breathe. And trust your own body. If there's a sense of wanting a different type of movement or a different type of breath, please go off the rails. Trust your own knowing. I will just encourage you to let this be a space apart for a little while. So if thoughts of what you have to do in the rest of your day pop in, know that you've got just about 2 minutes left. And that all of that will be here 2 minutes from now. Right now there is breath. Right now there is receiving. Right now there is being held by the earth. Right now there's this knowing of our interdependence, this knowing of the work that we have to do. And all that you need to do right now to engage with that work is breathe. Here we are together, floating in this just loving, caring sea of energy. Completely held in all of our messiness, in all of our uncertainty, in all of our different emotions. Don't have to suddenly feel happy or at ease. It's just stepping back into you. I'm going to go silent and just send energy to you. Again, guides can take care of delivering it in the time and space that you're listening to this. You can just breathe and receive. If you have the space to stay here even longer, please do. Otherwise, I'd love to hear how this landed with you, if it resonates, what you're getting from this. Perhaps what are the tools that you are engaging with right now, that you're building skills around right now. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you in a reading next week. Lots of love, friends.